I'm Michaela, and this is my faculty interviews. Personal interest. So, I want to major in psychology to focus on the mental health aspect and just go into child clinical psychology, mostly because I want to get the kids back into social environments where they won't feel so uncomfortable. Because I feel like the rapid increase in technologies, all kids want to do is this and not engage. And I feel like that's pretty scary considering you need to grow up in a world where you can communicate and get your points across without relying on buttons. And I just love kids. That's pretty much why I want to go into this. I feel like they are the future, as corny as that sounds, and I just love being around them. And any age, really, but if I were to put a range on it, probably early adolescence, 8 to 15. And I just love talking to kids, and I feel like they're easy to relate, and they're lots of fun sometimes. So I interviewed Dr. Kate B. Nooner, and she's an associate professor, and Dr. Simone Nguyen, also a professor. So Dr. Nooner began her education at Wesley College in 1999 and finished her education at San Diego University in 2007. Her primary focus is trauma and resilience in maltreated children. So she focuses on traumas they might experience, within the home or maybe with substances, any type of trauma that prevents them from developing correctly. And I thought that was cool because that takes a lot of hard work. And I asked her what was the hardest part about her job, and you would think dealing with traumas and scary situations that would be pretty hard, but she said giving parents and kids the hope that they need to achieve the resilience to carry on with their life was pretty hard, and achieving the accuracy of her research was also hard. But I also asked her what her favorite part about her job was, and she said research within students of UNCW, because not only is she growing relationships with kids that could also contribute to her research, but she's gaining more knowledge that she could go towards her research. And I asked her why did she pick this particular field, and she said she was interested in child maltreatment prevention, mainly because not only it's research, but just because the idea of prevention and its idea of, hey, I could prevent several bad kids or several raging adults if I could do something now. And I thought that was interesting because that's kind of like where I want to go into. And I asked her if there's one part about her job that she would change. And she said the amount of hats or side jobs that she has to wear. And she said that she has to teach, she has to find time for her research, and there's just so many other things that she has to do, but she wants to focus on her research, so she thought that if she didn't have to do those side jobs, that she could do more. I asked her about the technical advances in her field, if that would be beneficial to her research or just anything that would help her field grow, and she said absolutely, the mobile technology for sure, because there's actually apps right now that are monitoring stress and physiological behaviors all on a phone. So I thought that was really cool. And I asked her if she had any big plans for her field, and she said that she actually recently received a grant to study binge drinking in underage youth. And overall, she was just really passionate about research. So the big takeaways from Dr. Nooner were you have to be an expert in whatever field that you choose. A bachelor's degree is necessary for a clinical interest. Internships more towards senior year. And with clinical comes research, which I was kind of upset about, but I think once I figure out a specific field I want to go into, that won't seem so boring. Dr. Nguyen. I don't know if this box is in the way. I hope not. Her education began at the University of Michigan and ended at the University of Illinois in 2003. Her primary focus is cognitive development in childhood. So I thought this was pretty cool because she studies how kids think and what they do or how they do it. So, for example, kids categorize to understand the world, basically. So let's say you give them a teddy bear and a truck. So they categorize, okay, this is a truck because of this. Or they could say, this bear is a bear because of this, or it's a stuffed animal. So, like, differentiating and categorizing is what kids do. And I asked Dr. Noon what's the hardest part about her job. And she just said lack of time. She'd like to do all kinds of other things, but like I said, with Dr. Nooner, they have to do research, they have to teach, they have to attend several meetings, things that take away from their primary focus of their job. But I also asked her what her favorite part was, and she said the freedom to teach and research independently. So even though that she has a lot of stuff to do, she still has that leeway and freedom to find time to do what she wants to do, which is research. And I asked her why she chose this field, and she said that she was curious in learning techniques. So that also goes back to the categorization and just going over how kids think in general, and I thought that's pretty neat. And I asked her if she would change one thing about her job, and she just said, again, more time to do things that she'd want to do, and especially research. And I had a long talk with Dr. Nguyen, which I really enjoyed because I felt like I got a lot out of it. And the big takeaways were she was actually opposite of Dr. Nooner, and she said internships were better early because it's better to get your feet wet versus going down the road and starting to get in the waters, but then realizing that's not what we want to do. And she said look into various types of fields. So even if I'm wanting to do juvenile right now, I might want to look at something else, maybe like substance abuse. And she also said that obtaining a PhD gives you more flexibility, which is true. I just don't know if I want to do all that, but we'll see when the time comes. And overall, Dr. Nguyen is just a genuinely nice person. Like, her and Dr. Nguyen were two different people, but as soon as I walked in the door, she was super bubbly and just really friendly, and I feel like we've created a pretty strong relationship that I hope continues to grow as I continue my career at college. Anything that would change, mostly just with Dr. Nooner, amount of time. I felt like she was not as personable as Dr. Nguyen, but she was really informational, which was good. And I probably would have adjusted the amount of questions for Dr. Nooner, but overall, this assignment was pretty fun for me. Like, I had so many questions answered, and I'm not so lost. Because I've had a pretty clear idea of where I want to go with this, but I feel like through these interviews, I gained a lot more knowledge in the field I want to do. And that's it.